Well, Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of operations at Jubilee House, Emmanuel Ni Adumwa Bosman, says he will alert President Akufo-Addo to ensure the directive on the release of some military lands in Labadi to the people of La is fulfilled. He announced this when the coalition of La youth embarked on a demonstration and petitioned the presidency over the sale of some lands in La. There's more in this report.
The coalition of La associations and the Gadangbe Coalition Against Land Injustice announced a few days ago they will embark on a series of demonstrations in demand for immediate reversal of government and other private ownership of their lands. The two groups are raising concerns about how lands on their soil are being sold out to politically affiliated persons. The group embarked on their first demonstration today and presented a petition to the Deputy Chief of Staff. Jeffrey Tete, a spokesperson for the Coalition of La Association.
This petition is addressed to the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Petition by the people of La on the immoral looting of lands by some state officials, some political figures. We say enough is enough. Your Excellency, this petition has become extremely necessary to bring to your attention of your good office, once again, the continuous and unprecedented wanton dissipation of lands in the greater Accra region of Ghana, more especially within the La traditional area, by government and some state officials. The rapid manner in which these lands are being sold out to politicians and cronies as well as private developers is not only a disturbing but also a subject of public concern. This phenomenon smacks of the highest level of disregard from the government for the traditional authorities under whose jurisdiction these lands are located, more especially the chiefs of La. Your Excellency, one of these lands which is dear to our hearts and that of the chiefs and people of La is the Plecho land. We wish to express our profound gratitude to you for keeping to your promise by ensuring the release of 114.26 acres of land in controversy with the Ghana Armed Forces.
In response, Deputy Chief of Staff Emmanuel Ni Adumwa Bosman will receive the petition on behalf of President Akufo-Addo, as assured that he would alert the President to release the land to the people.
Thank you very much, my brethren from La. Okay, I listened very attentively to what was read. It is instructive to note that you are actually addressing this petition to the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. You have mentioned issues that concern the Minister for Defense, the Honorable Dominic Nitiwo, and the Chief of Defense Staff is not a Brigadier General, he's a Lieutenant General.
Thank you, sir.
Upon paper. I would relay these messages to the President. If the President has given a directive or an order, it is to be implemented as he has directed. So I'll draw his attention. I cannot stand here and purport to say I know the details of it, but the President has just returned from Gumwa. He's in there. I'll take this straight to him, and what needs to be done, I am sure, will be addressed.
The group says they will continue to embark on a series of demonstrations if nothing is done about their petition. Rejoice Semafa pursues reports read to you.
All right, so let's do more on this, and we're being joined in studio by Jeffrey Tete, who's spokesperson for the Coalition of La, associations. I'm grateful to you, Jeffrey, for coming. So my understanding is that this 114.26 acres of land has been given to you, but you don't have access.
Yes, exactly so.
Okay.
And we seem not to understand why this is happening, because it's been 2 years now since the President authorized for documentations to be given to us, and this was worked out by the Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the Honorable Samuel Abu-Jinapor. And so the traditional authorities, the STU, has possession of the documents. Unfortunately, we do not have access to the land itself because the Chief of Defense Staff, under the instruction of the Minister, Dominic Nitiwo, have always instructed their men heavily armed to accost us whenever we try to go onto the land and start some work.
Now, so you have the document that these lands are for you?
Yes.
But you don't have access. Is anything happening on those lands?
Okay. So, interestingly enough, the land in total measures way over 500 acres.
Okay.
When we started under the previous lands minister, Honorable Asuma Chermi, the people of La were supposed to get about 250 acres of the land. Eventually, when Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapor took office, he decided that there has to be a renegotiation. So the chiefs, the Ghana Armed Forces, the Defense Ministry, Lands Commission, Lands Ministry, all went into a committee. They were invited into a committee. They worked for about 2 years and came up with an arrangement that instead of the 250, the La people should be given that is 114.26, and then the remainder given to the Ghana Armed Forces. But the ones that were given to the Armed Forces, they were to take steps to acquire them. Okay. That's government, which means that it wasn't for them. So government was to take steps to acquire those lands for them. None of that has
been done. From you, the chiefs.
Okay. Exactly. None of that has been done. It was so because they pleaded that they needed some of the land for development. None of that has been done. And then the one that we have been given rightfully, they are also preventing us from having access to those lands.
So I mean, the 114.26, nothing is happening on them. They are bare lands.
Okay, so we have noticed that some of those lands, the military on several occasions has tried to get onto the portion that belongs to us, and they are trying to do some developments. For instance, when you go deep into the army, I think it's around the garrison area, that's behind their mess, that is where you have where the land that belongs to our boundary starts. We share
the one that was given to you.
Yes, and when you go there right now, because we know together with the Ghana Armed Forces and the Lands Commission and all the stakeholders involved, we went onto the land and we agreed on where the demarcations should be done. So they are fully aware. And we can even tell you the people from the Ghana Armed Forces who represented them on the committee. They were there when the pillars were mounted. Now, they have gone on to the portion that belongs to us.
Okay.
And surprisingly, there is a portion around the Major Mahama area, which at the time that was given to us, the Ghana Armed Forces said they had earmarked for an international hospital.
Okay.
Today, a search on that land will indicate that about 2 acres of that land, which they said was going to be used for a hospital, for which the people of La were being given a stake in, a portion of that land has been sold out to some business entities in this country, surprisingly. So even what they said they were going to use the land for, they have done something which is contrary to that. And so they have deceived.
You have such evidence of that search?
I don't have it here, but we can send it to you as evidence so you see what is happening.
So you have it?
Yes.
That says that 2 acres of that particular land
has been given to somebody, private entity.
For what purpose? Because they said they were going to build a hospital.
Yes.
What if that entity is supposed to put up the hospital?
The hospital is supposed to cover a certain acreage of land, which has been agreed upon, and a portion of that acreage has been carved out and sold to somebody, a private entity. So obviously, it is not the hospital that the person is going to build on that portion.
Is that part of your 114?
No, unfortunately, fortunately for us, that is not part of our 114. But I'm highlighting this to tell you that the military used certain tactics to deceive the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. So
that one is on lands that are supposed to be for the military, right?
Not
it's not on the
military, because we also have a stake in what is going to happen
there. Okay, yes. Okay.
So it's a shared interest. But when you look at
but I mean, I was asking that on the 114, which is supposed to be for you,
yes.
Are there any development on it?
Yes, they've started some development. That's what I spoke to you about. That they have crossed into our boundary and they've started some construction work.
What is being done there?
We actually can't tell what they are putting about. There's some construction going on, and unfortunately, it is the only access you can have is through Bema Camp. So when you try to go in there, then they try to prevent you from going. But we have found some ways of getting to those portions, and we have seen what is actually going on there.
Okay.
And we have confirmed that they have crossed into our boundary.
They've done some foundations on their
Yes, not just foundation. They've started building. You can see some blocks already springing up.
For the military or for individuals?
That we cannot tell.
Okay. Because you also mentioned here the prison service lands, cantonment, trade fair development, energy city project. That's the Airport City Phase 2. Are they all on this 114?
No, these are other land issues. We are talking about cantonments, Labone. If you know Salisbridge, the entire estate around Salisbridge has been sold out. And that was supposed to be for government services, to house government officials. When you go between Labone Secondary School and coffee shop, the estate in between, which is supposed to house government officials, the entire estate has been sold out. And interestingly enough, there are some properties there that belongs to people who are serving in government currently. So that is where we are raising eyebrows, because, you see, for the people of La, our expectation is that we give out land for national development. And we expect that it will get to a time when some of these lands will be returned to our people for our own development. Unfortunately, if we sit down and allow the unwarranted dissipation of these lands, which is immoral, it will get to a time our people, the generations behind us, wouldn't get a place to lay their heads. And that is why we are crying today. And our cry also goes to other traditional areas, that if you don't come to support the people of La today in this cry, when our lands are dissipated, it will get to your turn and they will move to your end. But if we come together and we halt this process, then we can be assured that it wouldn't dissipate our lands and yours also.
Jeffrey, we are with you. We'll see what government will do. And government says it has received your petition and they're going to work on it. So let's see how it goes.
Thank you.
All right, so that's Jeffrey Tetteh. He speaks for the Coalition of Land Associations. There's still the policy on the Joining channel. We'll take a very quick break. We'll be back. Please do stay.